This is how to cite a database using Noodle tools. The article we use for an example is from Gale Opposing Viewpoints in Context. It's called Fracking is Not a Public Health Risk, and we're going to cite that using Noodle tools. So, as we did, or as we would with any other citation in Noodle tools, we're going to go into Components and choose the work cited. We can see that we have some other information here. I'm going to select database. This is from a database, but immediately after we select database and hit create citation, we're asked what type of source are you citing from the database, and we have to make a determination. Often that determination will be whether it's a journal, a magazine, or something from something that was previously published in a book or a collection. Now, looking at the article, we get some background information here at the top, and it explains the viewpoint and explains sort of what he's arguing. But other than seeing the word or the chemicals italicized up here, 2015, I don't get the information that I need. I have to go to the bottom of the page and look at the source citation. There are some major problems with this citation. This can't be copy and pasted in because Gale adds some information, including basically all of this, which is unneeded. Everything that's highlighted there. What I need to know is really where this came from, and because the name chemicals is italicized, and because it has an editor, this is showing me that in all likelihood it's a book. That's confirmed by looking at the idea that it comes from Greenhaven Press and it was published in 2015. So what I have is a part or a section of a book that's been cited on a database or been found on a database. If I go back here, I'm going to select book. So because I have database, and the chapter or section from a book, I've really got three parts to this citation. It's long, but all the information is there that I need. I'm going to go ahead here and put Opposing Viewpoints in Context, as that is the name of the database. I get to skip a session number, URL, and DOI. For MLA, these things aren't needed, and as you can see, we don't necessarily need to fill that in, which means I get to jump right down to chapter or section. I'm looking now for the author, and that author's name is Nicholas D. Loris. So I'm going to go ahead and type in his name and make sure that's spelled it correctly. Remove that H there. And so now we have his name identified, type of chapter or section. This is just simply a general chapter or section. It's probably just a chapter from the book or an essay from it. The section title, and that's actually, I can see that right up here. Fracking is not a public health risk. Again, as far as my capitalization goes, Noodle Tools really tries to help you out with making sure that you capitalize things correctly. So you see you get this warning if you're not. Do pay special attention to that as it can help your citation be more correct. The next piece of information that we're looking for is what page numbers that the article appeared in on the original source. We may not have this information. It's not provided at the bottom source. And again, if I check at the top, there seems to be no indication of any page numbers. If it was there, and often it can be, we would put it in, but it's not in this case. Next, we have to designate and give credit to the actual book itself. So we're back down at the bottom of the page. At the bottom of the page, what we're looking at here is information about the source. The book is called Chemicals, and it's edited by Margaret Herons. And then we have our publication information. So we're going to go ahead in and type in under author, or under, role, we're going to choose editor. And again, double check that spelling, H-A-E. So we've given her credit as the editor, and Now we want to go ahead and put in the title of the book, which is simply Chemicals. Again, title of volume and total number of volumes. We can skip all of this information. This is much like our book citation from this point on that we did in the other video. So now we just need the publisher, publication, city, and year. The publisher is going to be Greenhaven, and we're going to have Farmington Hills as the city, and in the year 2015. So Greenhaven. If we type the word press, Noodle Tools will give us another warning and say the MLA doesn't really need that in there. So again, we can take it out. And for the name of the publishing city, we've got that right there, Farmington Hills. We don't include the name of the state that it's from. And what we finally have then is 2015. And again, some of the errors that are on this citation, including this information about reprint, but also the idea of including the word press, these are small errors, but it does make this citation wrong. And the reprint is a dead giveaway, that we're getting extra information that we might not need. So we've gone through and we've typed in all of the information, including name of database, chapter or section, and finally the book that it came from. If we had done a journal article, it would have looked very similar. It simply would have been different information from a journal that we would have been putting into some of these other fields. I'm going to go ahead and submit that citation. And at this point then, we see here's our citation, and it looks like everything in there looks pretty good. It indicates right there that we've got no page numbers. So again, this is citing a database. However, in this case, we determined that that database was actually an article from a book or an essay from a book. It very easily could have been from a journal or a magazine. If you're not sure what you have, please ask. Thanks.